tindvuna tembuso laba emalungu eParliament tindlu letimbili taseParliament labaphethe tifundza even nasEswatini, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, labaphethe kuhulumende, nalabaphethe tinkapani, nalo phethe iSEPAC, long director, nebandla lahamba nalo. Tinsatseli letikhona la nani nonke bekunene, a very good morning. Ngisite ngicela bangibeke lapha ngilokhona balamkhathini oba lapha bungathi sekoneni kakhulu bekunene, ngingamangali na ukuthi sesisusa ipodium. Angicale nje ngekuphawula bekunene ngelulwimi lwakithi leSiswati, ngingangeni kule nkulumo yanamuhla. Ngeminyaka wa1999 imbube emhlaba ethula esiveni luhla loselu lungumgubudla live leliusebenzisako lesiubita ngekuthi iNational Development Strategy. Loluhla lolu ke bekunene silo mayisethula esiveni kwase kutalwa lombono wa 2022 kwabake liphupho bekunene leli bakhona lesive lesolo ke silandzela silive bonke ke bohulumende labalandzele bekunene bebalandzela lombono lo vision 2022. Libandla ke lelikhona letindvuna nahulumende na onke nje mabandla lafaka ekhatsi iParliament lengene eminyakeni wa 2018. Silo semhlaba simthumile hulumende na onke lamabandla kuthi kuqala umsebenzi lomkhulu wekufukula umnotho, wekuvusa umnotho eSwatini. Cishe ngathi ngiwo nje umsebenzi lomkhulu bekunene solo sifikile office nga 2018 lesi ufuqako kuyaze kufike isikhathi lala khona nathi sesiphuma sekungena labanye, kodwa nje kule season lo 5 years lesithunywa ngawo bekunene sithunywa kutofukula umnotho, economic recovery. Sithatha igcizelele lokhu bekunene ngoba imbube emhlaba uma ivula iParliament nakusuka lomnyaka iphindze yakugcizelela lokhu emhlabeni, yasho ukuthi hulumende akasebente avuse umnotho. Kuvusa umnotho ke kusho ukuthi kumele ukuthi kwakheke emathuba emisebenzi, bantu baqashwe bangahlali emakhaya beswele imisebenzi, nekokuthi kutothuthuka tempilo netemfundo bekunene, nekokuthi nje bantu bakhona ukuthola lokumqokwa labakudingako empilweni yabo, naletinye nje tidzingo letikhona. So konke ke lokhu bekunene kukuso le strategy, le National Development Strategy, bese kuba ne-National Development Plan. Sithiteke uma sifike office njengoba Minister Economic Planning asavetile kini bekunene ukuthi sethula nathi ngekubusi emva kube le plan libusiswe ingwenyama inkosi Mswati wesithathu eminyakeni lophelile ngaMay sethula strategic roadmap lesolo sisasebenza ngaso nanyalo bekunene kodwa ke njengoba sathi sonke ukuthi kube sekuvela umkhuhlane wa COVID-19 lo sekubese sophoqelela ukuthi sisale siphinze singihulumende siyohlala phansi kubuka ukuthi siseta uqhubeka yini nale strategic roadmap sinjengoba singiso noma sekufuna sente lokuthide lo sekwehlukahlukile solo sihamba ngayo so le strategic roadmap lokutawenda ukuthi sisheshe siphume kulomkhuhlane lesibhekene nawo sithi ke bekunene namuhla kuyinfokoto lenkulu ukuthi sila eRoyal Villas nani nonke nikhona ukuthi sitowethula lo msebenzi lona lo luhla lokuvusa umnotho lebe silusebenta sibambisene nabo somabhizinisi kungako nje nibona namhla lendlela lesethula ngawo noma ke lesipresenter ngayo bekunene kokuthi akusuye uhulumende yedwa lokhu kukhombisa kona ukuthi kulesikhathi lesi kubonakala ukuthi ngeke uhulumende awufukule awuvuse umnotho ayedwa ne private sector ngeke ivuse umnotho iyodwa ne live la kangwane ngeke livuse umnotho lilodwa kufuneka ukuthi kubambisane uhulumende ne private sector siphinde sibambisane nebangaphandle iinternational community kuze ukuthi le live leli umnotho ubuyele ube sesimeni lesifanele kumqoka ke bekunene lokho ngithanga ukugcizelele ngoba sinemthwalo lomkhulu ngaliyelanga nje sonke losileti landlini sasinabo 5 years sibantwana kunebantu lebe basebenze bakule titulo lesileti kuto namuhla basebenta le live bobabe bethu nabo babe mkhulu labanye sebahamba labaningi labanye siyabakhumbula namuhla uthawu bekuna so and so lo wenda nako waqala Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority waqala nako bonke labantu bebakwenda bathunywe inkosi ingwenyama ngaleto tikhathi kwakuyinkosi Sobhuza nyalo sekunenkosi imswati wesithathu labantu bebasebenta bendela ukuthi le live nase bangasekho thine losikhona namuhla silikhanze liphila le live nako lokumcoka lekufuna sikufake etingqondweni sikhona la uthi lokhu lesikwendako sendela titukulwana labantu bethu lesibashiyele emakhaya noma ke bantwana basetikolweni silungisela ukuthi nase singasekho thine bakhanzele live selingcono babe basicabanga kahle ukuthi cha kwakunebantu bebaphila kuna isizini ya 2020 2021 le season lesikuyo benda lokuhle basebenta batikhandla ukuthi live la kangwane namuhla nabo sebanalo nako nje lokuyinsaya lenkulu ukuthi sonke bekunene kungako ke kungeke kusite umuntu ukuthi kube nebantu abagcekako laba criticizeako noma ukahulumende noma private sector it will not help because sonke sinensaya yekushiya le live sishiye le tutukulwane live leliphilako sinaleyo assignment leyo ke bekunene ngikhumbula nje nga 2003 bang beka eNetbank ukuthi ngibe managing director kwakungazange sekube neliswati lenesikhumba lesimnyama leli ke laba managing director welbhange lekhamba laSwatini ngathuthumela but ngaresolve one thing ngathi angifuni ukuthi ngonele eMaswati ngoba if I mess up le assignment le abayuse themba labantu bekhamba bayakuthi buka ke sawanike eMaswati ngoba it was a big risk ngiyakhumbula ukuthi nase bangitshela abaphathi bami bathi kwaba ne debate lenkulu eJohannesburg headquarters uthi are you sure ukuthi lento lenendako ingi ngoba bekungazange sekwenteke namuhla I'm extremely proud kunebanakethu nabodzadzewethu namuhla emabhange ekhamba la Eswatini aphethwe eMaswati because I did not mess up. Sengisho ukuthi bekunene lo msebenzi lo lesithunywa inkosi sonke lo sila sibe inkosi nga 2018 inkosi ithume emabandla yabeka ndunankulu yabeka icabinet inahulumende wayo lenabo PS lababekwe ingonyama kuthi akuvuswe lo mnotho ngicela ke kini nonke bekunene silandlini nalabanye abasemakhaya nalabanye abangekho la Eswatini kuthi asiubambe lo msebenzi ngekuthi misela noma simo silikhuni sibhekene nabo COVID-19 live kumele siqhubeke ngeke sihlale sigoqe tandla kumele le live leMaswati leliholwa imbube inkosi Mswati liqhubeke sithi nathi nasihleti noma sowugugile sowuliqheko usho ukuthi cha nami ngalijika litshe esivivaneni nalive solo liyaphila ngoba ngangi-PS etiko lelitsite nangihulumende solo yaqhubeka uyasebenza ngangi-CEO wenkampani lenkuthi naku namhla lenkampani solo ikhona ngithi ke angikubeke lokhu kube insaye yabe kunene kithi sonke ngoba mkhulu lo msebenzi lesibhekene nawo sibe ne challenge ukuthi uhulumende ube sesimende silikhulu lokho sesidibana nalomkhuhlane lesikuwo so sithi ke bekunene singangeni kule nkulumo asendlulise nje lawo magama lawo ngesiswati bekunene I am honored to welcome you all to this launch of the post-COVID-19 recovery strategy, a move that is central on our unyielding belief that we have the capability to turn around our economy and make it work for all eMaswati. His Majesty King Mswati III has commanded Cabinet to revive the economy and improve the lives of all eMaswati in order to realize the goals of Vision 2022. In his speech from the throne early this year, His Majesty clearly articulated what Vision 2022 entails for this kingdom. I quote, "For us, this will mean that we have been able to overcome unemployment, ensure that there is provision of quality health and education services for all, equal and adequate access to social services amenities, and also making sure that the disabled are afforded a life without challenges," unquote. Today, we are gathered here to chart a path of sustainable economic growth in the midst of a storm which no one ever predicted. But from where we have set up a launch pad to release a fast-moving train destined for one particular destination, that is wealth creation. The advent of the COVID-19 pandemic calls for innovative responses and solutions to save lives and livelihoods. It requires deliberate and swift action to address all COVID-19 related concerns in a holistic manner without leaving anyone or any sector of the economy behind. This economic recovery plan we are launching today is a response to the looming economic contraction and negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the different sectors of the economy. This plan aims to protect the economy from a downward spiral and set it in motion for sustained growth. For in every adversity lies an opportunity. His Majesty's government recognizes that Eswatini in all spheres of our economy and social structures are deeply affected by the pandemic. COVID-19 has caused major disruptions in people's lives, particularly severing opportunities to generate income and put food on the table, among many other basic necessities. For those that are still able to go to work, COVID-19 has a lot of uncertainty and job insecurity as it affects many traditional sectors of the economy. We are cognizant of the fact that many Eswatini have lost their jobs. Some businesses have shut down, and that our social security and protection structures are not adequate to cushion everyone that needs our help. As we adapt to the new normal, Eswatini has no option but to rise above these current challenges and restore the dignity and security of Eswatini whilst ensuring that our health system is capacitated enough to tackle this virus with success. As articulated throughout this ceremony, this post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan aims to revive the economy through high-impact private sector-led projects that can catapult the economy into a trajectory of high growth and wealth creation and yield economic and social returns in the shortest possible time. We have been warned that COVID-19 might linger on a little longer than we initially anticipated. This plan, therefore, is structured to be a stimulus package that will push our economy into a much higher level of productivity despite the storm. This recovery plan does not replace the National Development Plan, the National Development Strategy, nor does it replace the government strategic roadmap launched last year. Instead, it serves as a catalyst or practical action to all of them. It also provides the fiscal space for government to invest in critical public service delivery as outlined in the National Development Plan. This is a comprehensive plan that has its foundation on meeting the three major objectives of the strategic roadmap, which are to grow the country's GDP, create jobs, and fast-track government revenue mobilization for improved public service delivery. Similar to the strategic roadmap, it also focuses on key sectors prioritized for growth, namely agriculture, tourism, mining, energy and water, infrastructure, ICT, and education. It also embraces our intention to become an export-based economy, also articulated in the strategic roadmap. Some might reasonably ask, why focus on big projects and the private sector-led economy? A core principle of the recovery plan is to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy in the short term in order to make up for the anticipated losses in GDP. To do that, government intends to reposition herself as a facilitator and enabler of business development and growth. The private sector is afforded the opportunity to drive the economy, whilst our micro, small, medium enterprises will be empowered to become the engine of economic growth. Big projects can provide the much needed stimulus from which all economic activity can be nurtured and developed to grow the country's GDP, create high-impact jobs, and fast-track the implementation of the country's development agenda. To achieve this, His Majesty's government will leverage the ICT sector as an enabler for social and economic growth. The pandemic has shown that this sector is the cornerstone of future of growth in education and service delivery, amongst others. Perhaps I can just give two quick examples of that. The first one is that when COVID-19 came, it gave us an opportunity as government to look at using technology to deliver or to distribute elderly grants. We all know that when elderly grants were being distributed in the past, the elderly people would be collected from their respective home, taken to Inkundla, to the Inkundla centers or various places where they would congregate and then be given their money. But because of COVID-19, we couldn't take that risk of taking our elderly, the most vulnerable, to congregate in one place. So what did we do? We explored possibilities of using technology. And today, the last distribution of elderly grant was a huge success. The DPM tells us that 99%, maybe 99.1% or so, was successfully distributed. And that's because of COVID-19. Cabinet is also now using virtual meetings. Government departments and ministries are also using virtual meetings because business must still continue. But you can't always bring people together because you increase the risk of people getting infected. So there are benefits that we are seeing coming out of COVID-19, and we are looking at technology to enhance and create the new normal in our country. The pandemic has shown that this sector is definitely the cornerstone. It is for this reason that government has taken the decision to fast-track the unbundling of EPTC to liberalize the industry, increase connectivity in schools, and support widespread and investment in ICT infrastructure. We will also leverage on the abilities of the Royal Science and Technology Park, establish an e-procurement system, invest in an internet exchange point. Right now, when you are sending an email, if you are in Babane sending an email to someone in Simunye, it first goes to Johannesburg before it gets to the person in Simunye. That's how ridiculous it is at the moment. We want to change that so that this internet exchange point is located in country, and initiate a national payment gateway to reduce the cost of doing business in Eswatini. Youth unemployment and slow micro, small, medium enterprise growth is a major challenge to Eswatini's growth. Through this recovery plan, government working with the private sector commits to work hand in hand to ensure that all the earmarked projects create opportunities for the youth and ensure the deliberate participation of local micro, small, medium enterprises in the different sectors of our economy. Some of the key programs that will ensure the success of our micro, small, medium enterprises and create opportunities for our youth have already been presented by the speakers before me. However, just to name a few, government will improve micro, small, medium enterprise access to credit and pursue key reforms in our procurement processes to guarantee youth participation. I encourage young people to start projects outlined in the 5 key sectors of the strategic roadmap and utilize the opportunities that are being availed by this recovery plan. We further appeal to the local banking and financial sector to open up and fund these projects and be bullish in their support for entrepreneurial activity and national economic growth. Emabhange ke nangisesekhona khona mina bebavamse kune joke nje bebavamse kusho ukuthi libhange and I used to take offense at that time. They used to say, a bank will borrow you an umbrella when it's sunshine, and then when it starts raining, they take it away. I hope that's not the case. We have seen our banks do a fantastic job during this COVID-19, helping businesses, helping Eswatini, and this shows commitment, but we are challenging them even more to do much more to make sure that the economy continues to grow. Through this plan, government commits to implement key social and economic reforms that will restructure and grow our economy from within, but also make it attractive for foreign direct investment. Working together with the private sector, government will focus on improving the ease of doing business to create a much more sustainable path to social and economic development in the kingdom. More importantly, the plan will be managed by a delivery unit whose composition consists of government, the private sector, and small businesses. May I take this time to recognize the cabinet task team that drove the process of developing this recovery plan. The chairperson of that committee was Minister Economic Planning, Dr. Gina, working with a number of cabinet ministers. And these ministers will also form the investment committee in cabinet, where the delivery unit will be reporting before the report gets to cabinet and my office. I would also like to acknowledge the private sector for responding positively to our call to bring forward big projects that could be implemented to jolt the economy back into a path of success. My gratitude goes to the various government and non-government institutions and development partners that have supported us to get to this level where we are presenting to the nation a plan that they can be proud of to support. I am further thankful to our secretariat, the Economic Policy Analysis and Research Center, ESEPAC, which coordinated the entire process of developing the economic recovery plan. We are saying this recovery plan is work in progress, meaning it will evolve. It's not static. For instance, if Minister Agriculture identifies in the next 4 months key projects, we will include these projects in the plan. So it's going to be a living document, work in progress, because we are developing, we are on a development path. The launch of the Economic Recovery Plan today only marks the beginning of an inspiring journey of a much more involved process of implementing Vision 2022. We will rely on the unwavering support of all Eswatini and our international partners and friends to make this plan a success. We are charged with the responsibility of uplifting the standard of living for all Eswatini, especially the most vulnerable of our society. We remain inspired by the passion and drive of their majesties, who continue to lead the way in seeking more opportunities for Eswatini to develop, use their talents, and thrive. Government is committed to creating an enabling environment for growth by reducing barriers and supporting the productivity of our private sector. It is His Majesty's wish, which we all share, to see every Eswatini engage in productive economic activities. Together, we can make this 30 billion economic recovery plan a reality and create the space for Eswatini to realize their potential. It now gives me pleasure on behalf of His Majesty's government to declare the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan and the delivery unit officially launched. Thank you. Siyabonga bekunene.